Now at 5, Jasper County officials break ground on a project to improve emergency response radios. Plus, some Pittsburgh residents get access to a mobile mental health unit. And
President Biden and former President Trump say they're ready to debate. I'm Skyler Henry in Washington with a look at their plans as the two buck tradition.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We're tracking more storms moving into the area later this evening. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we've already had some scattered thunderstorms out there for us today, but thunderstorms are really going to pick up as we get especially mid to late evening. Not too much for us right now, but you can see the greater severe threat is going to be out across north central parts of Oklahoma, but we have still at least a level 2 out of 5 threat on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. As storms get into southwestern Missouri later on tonight, they're going to start to weaken just a bit. Scattered thunderstorms going on right now in our southern counties. These are non-severe. All the bigger storms are going to fire out toward Wichita by, let's say, 6 or 7 o'clock, and then start to roll in through the evening into the overnight hours tonight. So, of course, I'm going to break all this down for you here in just a bit.
See you soon. Work is now underway on a new Jasper County-wide public safety radio system. Officials today broke ground at the Sarcoxy radio tower site on Bridgeview Road. The project will revitalize 4 existing tower locations throughout the county and build 2 new ones. It'll also fund new radio equipment for first responders and their vehicles, which officials say will improve emergency response.
First time that I know of that we've had one radio system for one county, which, what do we talk about? Safety. And that's the most important thing. When firefighters are going into these houses and they don't have radio systems that work, that's a safety issue. When police officers can't get out on their radios, that's a safety issue.
That project was approved for funding by the county in 2021. The Crawford County Mobile Mental Health Unit found itself just outside the law enforcement center in Pittsburgh this afternoon. The mobile unit is intended to make same-day access to mental health care easier. Jason Southard with the mobile unit says by setting up outside the law enforcement center, they're able to provide same-day access to a new avenue of people.
What's unique about having this here today is the services start today. Normally I get them to fill out some paperwork, sign a release, but then we tell them to go over to our same-day access. Well, today, same-day access is right here, so we'll be able to get them started immediately.
This was the 7th outing of the mobile unit. It was outside the law enforcement center from noon to 2 p.m. Kansas is getting ready to kick off the 100th Route 66 anniversary celebration. On Friday, Galena will hold an event to reveal one of their 2 new Route 66 signs. A Lifetime Achievement Award will also be presented to Dean Crazy Legs. That event's going to also have live music and food. President Biden and former President Trump appear to be charting a new course when it comes to debating ahead of the 2024 presidential election. In a rare moment of agreement, they're planning to square off in 2 face-to-face meetings. Skyler Henry reports from the White House.
It started with a challenge from President Biden on social media.
Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Former President Trump responded with his own social media post. He said, just tell me when, I'll be there. Let's get ready to rumble.
I really think he has to debate. He might as well get it over with. Probably should do it early so that he can, he's not going to get any better.
While it may appear these debates came together in one morning, the 2 campaigns have been negotiating for a while. Currently, 2 face-to-face meetings are planned. The first on June 27th, hosted by CNN in Atlanta. The second, hosted by ABC on September 10th, before early voting begins. The debates are not expected to have a live audience, and the Biden campaign wants moderators to be able to cut the mic when it's not someone's turn to speak.
We can do it in a manner where the rules are enforceable and that the American people have the opportunity to actually hear from the candidates before they cast their ballots.
Since the late 80s, a nonpartisan commission has hosted the general election debates and set the criteria, but this year, neither of the presumptive nominees seemed interested in working with the commission.
I hate to use this group that does the debates because they cheated. They turned the sound off during one of my debates, and they go out of their way to help the Democrat, but that's okay. It doesn't matter.
The Biden and Trump campaigns both agreed to rules that would keep Robert F. Kennedy Jr. off the debate stage. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Former President Trump says he wants more debates, as many as one per month until the election. He posted that he had agreed to a third debate on October 2nd on Fox, but the Biden campaign has not yet said whether it's agreed to that debate. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced another $2 billion in military aid for Ukraine as Russian troops continue an offensive in the Kharkiv region. Blinken later wreathed at the Wall of Remembrance on day 2 of his visit to Kyiv. He also toured a grain facility and praised Ukraine. Still ahead, the latest on shifting prices.
Inflation is easing in some categories, according to a new government report. I'm Bradley Blackburn with where consumers may see some relief and where prices are still growing.
And next in Health Watch, a new CDC study shows a troubling trend when it comes to drownings. Topping today's Health Watch, people who have higher incomes have a 32% lower risk of dying after a stroke. That's according to new research presented at the European Stroke Organization conference. Researchers looked at key social health components, including income and education. They found multiple unfavorable factors increase a person's risk of death. Surgical teams that include men and women are associated with better post-op outcomes. A paper in the British Journal of Surgery attributes the improved outcomes to the different skills and experiences male and female doctors bring to the workplace. Researchers also note female doctors in operating rooms still remains uncommon. Drownings are on the rise after declining for decades. That's according to a new study from the CDC. Michael George shows us how some parents are trying to prevent a tragedy from happening in their families.
This isn't your typical swim lesson.
Ready, girl.
22-month-old Charlie is taking survival swim lessons.
We're around pools all summer long. It's just important for me to know that if there's, God forbid, ever an accident, she will be able to roll over in the water.
Rebecca Weiner with Aquafin's Infant Aquatics says unlike traditional lessons, survival swim can be taught in weeks.
Survival swim gives them the ability to be on their tummy and then roll themselves independently onto their back to float, rest, and breathe, to either wait for help to arrive if they find the water alone, or to continue to swim.
Important lessons. A new CDC report shows more than 4,500 people died due to drowning every year from 2020 to 2022, 500 more per year than compared to 2019. Dr. Deborah Howry says the pandemic may be one contributor.
Pools were shut down, and so people may not have had those swim lessons. Children may have been unsupervised more.
The highest increases were in children ages 1 to 4 and older adults.
We also saw increases by race, like in African Americans and Hispanics. We want to make sure that our youngest have access to swim lessons. And if you don't know how to swim, such as some of our older adults or some from different racial groups, we want to make sure everybody has those life skills.
My mother-in-law got a pool over the summer. I wanted them to, if they fell, to know what to do.
Vanessa Soto sees the progress with 5-year-old Emery and 3-year-old Delilah.
We just came back from our spring break, and seeing all their work that they've put in was just beautiful to watch.
And now that Emery can survive, she's perfecting her backstroke. Michael George, CBS News.
Adults also need to hear the message about swim safety. 40 million adults in the U.S. reported not knowing how to swim in that survey, and more than half reported they have never taken swim lessons. Here's one reason a lot of people might be heading to the pools. 2023 was the hottest summer in the Northern Hemisphere in the past 2,000 years. Researchers from Germany and the UK made that determination using tree ring data. The current El Nino is expected to continue into this summer, likely breaking records once again. And that is a look at today's health news. A little later, our Pet Vet On Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to tell you what you need to have a canary.
Plus, we have thunderstorms rolling in for us tonight. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, a few scattered little thunderstorms out there for us today, but overall, It's turned out to be a nice Wednesday, but we do have that severe threat, which is going to increase, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side as we go into the evening hours. I think by the time storms get into Missouri, they're going to weaken quite a bit. Looks pretty good. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. All right, let's look at our severe threat. Level 2, it's a level 1 on the Missouri side. Level 2 out of 5, and then a level 3 out of 5 once you get into our very far, far western counties. No watches, no warnings. At this time, we do have some scattered little thunderstorms kind of scooting through our southern counties, and these have been somewhat strong, but we haven't had anything severe out of this batch. In fact, see a couple little showers just south of Miami and then near Grand Lake, and then a little bit stronger once you get over Cassville down to Table Rock Lake. But besides that, we are looking pretty good. Now, what's going to happen from Wichita down toward Oklahoma City, thunderstorms are going to boom here in about an hour or so. Most likely a severe thunderstorm watch will pop up on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. There is a tornado threat mainly out to our west. I think for us it's mainly wind and hail. Here's 7 p.m. thunderstorms trying to get into our western counties, driving east. Strongest ones look to stay northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Here's 9 p.m. Thunderstorms continue to push in, 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So it's going to be a loud night, but mainly after midnight, I think our severe threat pretty much drops, and then we're on to just good old severe or good old strong storms through the night. Very heavy amounts of rain, showers, thunderstorms working through all the way into the early morning hours. We can stop again at about 8 o'clock in the morning. Still thunderstorms, but starting to taper off by that point in time. Outside right now, looks okay. It's 74. We have a lot of mid, upper level clouds, which are pushing through the region. And once we get through these storms tonight, we'll see just a few trying to pop up early afternoon. Then I think most of Thursday afternoon is going to be dry. We do get another little wave, passes to our south tomorrow night into Friday morning. So a few random showers, but majority of the rain that we get over the next couple days is going to be tonight into tomorrow morning. Spotty shower trying to pop up as well on Friday, but in general looking pretty good. All right, rainfall amounts. A lot of areas could pick up quite a bit, especially tonight, picking up 1 upwards to 2 inches. We may get some areas that pick up isolated 3-inch amounts. So scattered thunderstorms in the morning, then mostly cloudy skies, high temp tomorrow. We're going to go 75 degrees. And then just a few pop-up little scattered showers on Friday, not a big deal. The weekend looks great. Sunny skies, we warm into lower 80s. Thunderstorm chances again on Monday and Tuesday with a severe threat next week.
Do your best to keep the weekend looking that way.
The weekend looks pretty good.
It does indeed. Thanks, Douglas. Yep. Coming up, good news from the latest federal inflation report. Topping today's Consumer Watch, inflation cooled slightly in April. That's according to a closely watched report out today. It's the first time this calendar year that prices on many items are starting to ease. Bradley Blackburn takes a look at what consumers can expect.
Grocery stores and car dealerships are where consumers found the biggest price relief in April, according to a new report from the Labor Department. The Consumer Price Index climbed 3.4% from last April, down from March's 3.5%. And the core index, which excludes volatile food and fuel prices, is also easing, 3.6% in April compared to 3.8% in March.
This is actually good news. However, we are still at elevated levels when it comes to prices.
Housing and energy prices remain stubbornly high, according to the report. It's a similar story with services, including childcare, which rose 0.4%. That's what recently pushed Delaney Griffin to leave her restaurant job in Lexington, Kentucky, to work at her daughter's preschool for a discount.
Especially having a second baby, that really tanked us because that was my whole paycheck. I think I brought home maybe $100.
Wednesday's report could be a sign that the pace of price increases is slowing. It's still well above the Federal Reserve's target rate of 2%, but economists are hopeful.
If this inflation data continue to improve, go down from this level, I think the Fed could put a rate cut on the table for the September meeting.
The state of the economy is on voters' minds heading into the November election. President Biden said in a statement, while inflation has fallen, prices are still too high. He promised his administration would build 2 million new homes and lower prescription drug costs. Former President Trump's campaign said Wednesday the American people cannot afford 4 more years of Bidenomics. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Another report out today finds retail sales in April were flat following strong spending in February and March. Federal student loan rates are reaching its highest in a decade. The Department of Education reports loan rates for undergrads next school year will rise more than 1% to 6.53%. It's the highest interest rate in 12 years. Graduate students will also see a 1% increase to federal loan rates at 8.08%. The Biden administration has yet to announce any plans to potentially reduce or freeze the current interest rate percentage. Some TikTok users are suing the U.S. government to prevent a possible ban of the app. The lawsuit alleges the law violates the First Amendment right of free speech. The creators in the lawsuit said the app gives them a way to express themselves as well as create a community and make a living. TikTok says it'll cover the legal costs for the creators' case. Our Pet Vet on Call next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, we're going to meet an athlete with Down syndrome shattering world records. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from the owner of Gusano's Pizza in Duquesne after a break-in at the restaurant. Plus, the city of Pittsburgh holds a ribbon cutting for its newly renovated mini golf course. And we're going to have more on the mobile mental health unit that stopped by Pittsburgh today. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Different pets have different needs, including those that don't even have fur or maybe don't even have 4 legs. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: what should I know before buying a pet canary?
Very little, actually. What you need is a appropriately sized cage for the bird so that it has plenty of room with environmental enrichment for joy and exercise. Then you need to research and find out exactly what to feed it, because the bird seed out of a grocery store is not adequate for proper nutrition. Do some research, feed them properly. As far as veterinary care, the occasional beak or nail trim might be required, and then they just need lots of love and attention.
We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to PetVet, KOAMTV.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or sometimes brings us a fun fact every Wednesday, KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. No birds, but from the Joplin Humane Society, we have Maximilian, a 3 to 5-year-old male poodle with a high energy level who loves to hop into his human's lap. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have this 3-year-old male Siamese cat. They say he loves to give affection and play. His name is Tucker. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? You will find one there. That's a very good chance. Excellent chance of rain moving in tonight.
Yeah, showers and thunderstorms increasing for us, especially after about 8 or 9 p.m. We are going to have a severe threat, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, and then heavy amounts of rain, very loud for us all night long, thunderstorms through the morning hours tomorrow, and then they kind of taper off to just kind of hit and miss pop-up showers heading into Friday. The weekend, though, looking great.
That is the light at the end of this tunnel. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.